Hello servers and hi, thank you for tuning in and it's great to have you with us. You had requested in the videos where we featured Having introduced Dr. Wack a power foam, we wish to compare it with many other snow foams and pre-cleaners. Among other things, Stjärnagloss Först. I had already done that in the first video. However, that was an extreme case, an extremely heavy dirt condition. This was the car here that hadn't been washed for weeks, if not even months. And 2001. We saw there that Dr. Wack a power foam did not clean as well as Stjärnagloss Först under this extremely heavy dirt, which, as stated in the conclusion of the video, is actually quite logical. Now the question was, how well does it clean under light dirt conditions compared to a First? And now we will split the whole thing into two parts. On one side, we will take another look at the Dr. Wack laboratory, because when Sebastian and I were guests there, we couldn't resist. I was being sneaky. I brought the Stjärnagloss Först as a nasty surprise for the Dr. Wack team. We have looked at the cleaning performance of Stjärnagloss Först compared to a power foam on the test dirt and on the test plate from Dr. Wack. Now, let's take a look at this result.
So now you just saw how our snow foam performs as foam and as a watery solution. Now I believe you have a surprise as well, right?
Yes, a nasty surprise for you because I said this is all impressive because it is still pH neutral. But how does it compare to a very effective, highly alkaline pre-cleaner? Should we try that as well?
Let's take another look at the whole thing now. Very good. Let's take the box on the other side again, meaning the first. And then let's let it sit for another 3 minutes and check the results afterwards. So, 3 minutes are up.
Now I am really curious.
It also looks nice again. Our one has expired.
Now I'm really curious. Let's see.
Let's rinse it off carefully. Again with water. And then dry everything with compressed air.
So now let's take a look at it. Okay, this is really impressive. So point one, once again, the Stjärnagloss Först has delivered, but let's talk about the fact that we now have a pH neutral snow foam that cleans almost as well. So now we have seen that there are already very tiny differences, with the Stjärnagloss Först having almost completely cleaned the test plates of the test dirt. A very tiny residue was still present with Dr. Wack a power foam. So it can be said that with the test dirt from Dr. Wack, the results are almost equally good. Now, of course, the question is, well, how realistic is this test dirt? And that's why we will repeat the whole thing here on this car. Why on this car? Exactly 1 week ago, I conducted this extreme test with the Stjärnagloss Först and Dr. Wack a power foam here. I completely cleaned the car afterward. It was clean. A sealant is no longer on this car. How should I put it? It's just not there anymore. I applied it with Sonax CC1 about 2 years ago, maybe even 2.5 years ago. On the sides, I am convinced of that, especially on the lower surfaces, it is now gone. The water repellent behavior is no longer present. Therefore, let's say it is no longer there, the CC1. And now, in just this 1 week, a lot of dirt has accumulated again. However, it hasn't been long enough for this dirt to really stick. And that's why we are now taking another look at the Stjärnagloss Först in a new comparison with Dr. Wack a power foam. And as an additional reference, so you can better assess the results, we are including the Koch GSF again. So as you can see, we are doing everything live. The background noise is my girlfriend finally cleaning her car again. It was long overdue. I'm taking care of things here, taking care of things here, taking care of things now. I will now take care of the inside and the outdoor area. We will prepare everything exactly as it is stated here. Live without cuts, so that you can see that everything is done properly. I have the Stjärnagloss Först, not the Concentrate First X, but the ready to use. I have the Gloria FM. Here at the back is a marking that says 1 liter of water is inside. I am now pouring 60 millibars of Dr. Wack foam into this 1000 milliliter measuring cup. So this is the recommendation that Dr. Wack also provides Very good. There are 60 ml in here. I am also really using the measuring cup instead of the cap now, so that we can truly follow along and see everything. I take 20 ml, which is the highest dosage recommendation that Koch specifies for the GSF. Yes, now I'm even slightly over, that's 25. I think that's okay. And then I'll put the whole thing in here. This is especially okay because there is always a little bit left in the measuring cup with these viscous snow foams. Even with Dr. Wack, you can see that a little bit is left behind here. If I were working here at the sink now, I would add a little more water, mix everything well, and then add it back in. But for this test, we'll leave it as it is. All right, I'll carefully and securely put the lids on the two foam sprayers, twist them accordingly, and then I'll start pumping here. Well, you hear it, it's about restraint. I'm using the IK foamer, where I have the GSF inside. So that one too. So now I will move this over a bit because I'm going to work on this area here. I made a note earlier about this dirt spot. Until then, the surface is still in the picture. So, unfortunately, I don't have 3 hands. Maybe my girlfriend can help me for a moment. Honey. Look, she's coming over nicely. So, darling, you spray this one here. Oh, God. You spray this one here, right about here. No, not approximately, exactly here. Wait, I'll make you 2 lines. So, from here to here, you spray this rectangle here together with me. At the same time, we need to do this at the same time so that the cleaners are on for the same amount of time. Good. 3, 2, 1, go. Now. So I still need to do a little bit up here. So you see the 3 minutes in time lapse. Thank you, darling. And afterwards, we will look at the results after rinsing. So that was exactly 3 minutes. Eh? I will now rinse the cleaners with the Solo 260 battery-powered sprayer, which means using a weak water jet. Because with a high-pressure cleaner, I might distort too much. And of course, a high-pressure cleaner cleans as well. I start here with the first one. He had a little less time overall than the other 2. We need to keep that in mind. So it naturally takes a while with the small battery sprayer to get all the cleaning residues down here. That's why we're using time lapse again. So it does take a bit longer with the weak water jet, but that's just how it is. We now want to examine the results when we do not use a high pressure cleaner. I have fresh cotton pads here. I take 1, 2, 3 of them out. Many thanks to my girlfriend who brought them for me during the last shopping trip. So we start with Stjärnagloss First at the top, which was here. I make sure to have 3 fingers on the pad and always apply the same pressure. Yes, this is the ridge. I'll place it there just a moment so you can see that everything has been done properly. I'll put it over there. 2001. Now I take the next pad. It is clean. Dr. Wack, that was here. Once over there. So, and once Chemie GSF, that was over here. Yes, very good. So we already have results. I'll show them to you directly without any further ado. So, Stjärnagloss First, Dr. Wack, and Chemie GSF. I believe these are relatively clear results. I would even say that Dr. Wack has cleaned the best here. Now, exciting result. Now I turn the pads back over. You see they are magical. Yes, it's leaking a bit here. Okay, I'll take a new one. So be it. Let's waste a few cotton pads. Now we go down here, and at the same height, here, Stjärnagloss Först, 3 fingers again. On the doctor, Wack was here. Twice. And Chemie GSF was here 3 times. Yes, that is also a clear result again. So, look all the way to the left. From my perspective, Stjärnagloss Först has cleaned the best at the bottom. In the middle, Dr. Wack is a bit worse than the first, but it comes close. And the Chemie GSF cleaned the worst here. Again, 2001. Well, I think these are relatively clear results. I have deliberately let the test area dry completely because I believe we can see even more now than we did with the cotton pads. And above all, the result is confirmed again, because regarding the surface of the GSF, the surface of Dr. Wack, the area of the ridge, and you can see a very clear gradient. I need to see if I can capture that well for you with the lighting conditions. The surface of the ridge is the reddest. Here you can clearly see where it was applied and where it was not. Then the area of Dr. Wack is directly behind it, so really just slightly behind. A bit grayer still, and the area of the GSF is still very gray. So we now have a very clear gradation after drying. Now that you have seen the results, I believe we can now classify the cleaning performance of Dr. Wack's Power Foam very well. Specifically when it comes to light dirt, that hasn't had a long time to bake on unsealed and sealed cars. I don't see a big difference. It cleans very, very well. It cleans so well, especially in comparison with other pH-neutral snow foams, that one could almost speak of a contactless wash. Attention, I deliberately say almost here because in my view, there is no such thing as a 100% contactless wash. And there will always be some residue from the traffic film left on the paint that must be removed through a mechanical wash. But we have seen that with light soiling, both in Dr. Wack's lab and now here on the car. It really cleans very well and it comes close to a very effective cleaning. Strongly alkaline pre-cleaner, like Stjärnagloss Först, close but not quite there, which is perfectly fine because this is a strongly alkaline product. And these strongly alkaline products will always raise, no matter how well they are formulated, questions regarding material compatibility. Because if you adhere very precisely to the manufacturer's instructions regarding the application times, do not spray on hot paint and rinse off cleanly, then nothing is likely to happen. But what happens if we don't behave correctly? If we leave it on for too long, if it gets onto hot paint, if it hides somewhere in the body seams, if we don't rinse it off completely, and then it runs onto the headlight lenses or the unpainted plastic or rubber trims, polycarbonate, and so on. Well, in the worst case scenario, if many unfortunate circumstances come together, namely the residues that we haven't rinsed off properly, sunlight exposure, stressed materials, and so on, then this can lead to material damage. With a pH-neutral cleaner, this risk is of course significantly lower from the outset, much lower. And therefore it must be said that for light soiling, the cleaning performance of Dr. Wack is... Dr. Wack's Power Foam can be classified as very good, really very good. And it comes close to what we know from strongly alkaline pre-cleaners. And above all, we also see a significant stark difference compared to other pH-neutral snow foams. I'm not saying this about all the other pH-neutral snow foams because we simply haven't compared them. And we also know that there are other very effective pH-neutral snow foams. That was simply better compared to the GSF. And we have seen the GSF in several videos. It doesn't clean as well. So with light soiling, pH-neutral snow foams perform well. But with heavy soiling that has had a long time to set, they reach their limits, and Dr. Wack's Power Foam also reaches its limits. It should also be noted at this point that the team at Dr. Wack is very open and transparent, as we spoke with them and they clearly stated, yes, that is the case. At the end of the day, it is still a pH-neutral snow foam, and when the dirt is too heavy, it reaches its limits, and then, importantly, the difference compared to other pH-neutral snow foams is not as significant anymore. We have seen this in several tests. And that is precisely the purpose of the strongly alkaline pre-cleaners. They simply work better, safer, and more reliably, and they remove more dirt for us, 1000. And this is how one must also assess the performance of Dr. Wack's Power Foam. If you found the video helpful, informative, exciting, and interesting, we would be very happy if you could give us a thumbs up. Please support the channel by subscribing for free and tune in for the next video. Goodbye.